I got one. I got two.
Nade. Throw a nade in there.
There we go.
Next up, let's talk about the drop system, or the parachuting system. It's honestly a lot like PUBG. You jump out of a big cargo plane and try to glide down to your destination. You can pull your chute to fly more slowly or over distance, and then cut the cord and pull again as many times as you need. You can't really fly horizontally crazy far like you can in Blackout or COD Mobile, and when you pull the chute, you kind of go really slow. However, you can pull and cut your chute as many times as you want to, and this is an intentional mechanic, so you can do a pull, cut sort of zigzag method, and every time you cut, it gives you a really big horizontal speed boost that you can use to cover incredible distances. So the best way to cover horizontal distance is to jump, pull, cut, pull, and kind of zigzag your way, and you'll go. If you choose this method, you won't auto-deploy when you get close to the ground. You're going to have to do that manually. Don't make the same mistake that I did. Next up, let's talk about the life and respawn system. There are 150 players in the game at launch. According to leaks and at least early stuff, it looked like there was supposed to be 200. I don't know if we're going to be getting that or not, but 150 players is a lot, and of that, there are 4 ways to come back to life, so you're going to be killing people a lot. First up, your teammates can res you if you're downed but not dead. This is a very standard normal feature in Battle Royale. Secondly, your first death will send you to the Gulag, where you get to fight another man in the showers for a second chance. You just 1v1, it's literally the same as gunfight, only the winner goes free, the other guy is dead for good. Interestingly though, your teammates and enemy teammates can spectate in the Gulag, because the Gulag runs on a queue system, only one person at a time, and the rest of you have to sit there and watch, but you can use your mics or whatever to give tips on where the enemy is or where they're pushing, and you can throw rocks at them. The rocks don't deal damage, but they do have some flinch that'll shake up the screen and maybe make them miss. The Gulag closes when there's only 50 to 60 people left in the match. I'm not exactly sure what time, but near the end of the match, the Gulag will close. So the Gulag is really a way to give people a second chance for some accidental early deaths, or one of those deaths where you just land and cannot find a weapon for your life. The third way to come back to life is that your teammates can buy you back with a lot of money, and you'll redeploy in just like from the airplane. You'll just parachute right back in on top of your teammates. You'll have a pistol and your standard health, and that is it. I do want to point out that it's very expensive to buy people back, but it is almost always worth it to have more teammates. And finally, you can buy a self-res item that works just like the gold shield from Apex, minus the part where it's, you know, an actual shield and you can block stuff. But you just, if you get downed, you can crawl out of the way and bring yourself back to life. That's if they just don't keep hosing you and kill you instantly. Overall, I like this system. I think it's a fantastic system. I think it gives you quite a few ways to avoid early deaths and bring yourself and your team back to life. In many of the games where we won or played well, we all died and managed to bring each other back through a series of absolute desperate maneuvers. But one of the neat things that this also means is that the map stays fairly populated throughout all of it. It's not quite like, say, Apex, where there's crazy fights in the beginning and at the end, but nothing in the middle. Since the player count's going to stay pretty high, you're always going to have people to fight. And when you win a game, you've probably won with a minimum of like 8 to 10 kills, because you'll really need, because these people are going to be coming back to life. Moving along, I should probably talk about the in-game economy system. You've probably heard me mention buying various players back to life or score streaks, and you've maybe even seen some of the money piles laying around the map. Well, that's because Modern Warfare Battle Royale, or Warzone Battle Royale, whatever it's going to be called, has an economy system that reminds me a lot of Radical Heights, Cliffy B's last game before, well, that's a different story. But most loot stashes that you open up, little loot boxes and crates, have at least a small amount of money, and some of them have quite a lot of money, just a giant pile of it, and there's money just laying around on the ground. Every time you down an enemy, every time you kill a player for good, you blow up a vehicle, or do anything really noteworthy in this game, you're going to get paid at least a little bit. So the longer you participate, the more money you're going to have. Most importantly, dead enemies drop all of their cash, so it's kind of like a big bonus. If you can go loot the bodies, you can just sop up all of their cash really quickly. You don't even have to press X, you just run over it and you just pick it up like instantly. There are 3 different types of challenges that you can complete for big cash prizes as well. I think most of you are familiar with these from the leaks, but the first one is a scavenger challenge where you find, you have to pick these up on the map. You'll see them, but you'll pick them up, and then you have to find 3 to 4 certain crates in various locations, so it kind of sends you running around. And then the last crate has a guaranteed legendary item in it, which is very nice, and a ton of cash. The second type of challenge is I would call it a domination challenge, where you literally have to capture a dom point just somewhere in the middle of this battle royale. And I think you have to do this with another squad nearby as well. They try to make it hot, but if you capture that dom point, everybody gets cash. And the third one, which I personally think is the most difficult and most risky, is the assassination contract, where you hunt down and kill another squad. I think it pays the best